Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Alonda Carter and I am the recovering Hunbot. I create anti-MLM videos, so if you enjoy anti-MLM content, then you might want to consider subscribing. And today is my first video for 2020, so a very happy new year to you. Today's video is an Ask Me Anything, and I haven't done this before, so I'm super excited to get to it and, share with you my answers. If you would like to support me as a creator and this type of content, the very best way to do so is through my Patreon. I've made 3 very reasonable tiers ranging from $1 to $10 a month, and literally any amount helps. You'll help me get more foam for my walls so I can improve the sound quality. Just, overall creating better content for you. And now let's get to the video. And I forgot to tell you, there's a link to my Patreon in the video description. Left that part out. All right, first question is, what is a Hunbot? This is the best way I can describe what a Hunbot is, because typically somebody who is in multi-level marketing, you will get different scripts, and they usually start out with, hey hun, or hey girl, something very generic like that. And because they're scripts, you copy and paste them, so then you begin to sound robotic. Because then there's like these post fails where somebody forgets to change a name and things just get really janky really quick. Question number 2, who hunned you and are you still friends? Great question. I've mentioned this in videos before, but I don't know if I've ever given the full story. Maybe I have. I don't know. I've slept since then. Anyway, the person who hunned me, I originally met her through Yelp because we were both leaving a lot of Yelp reviews and we were both looking for apartments, I think. Because I think I was putting like some reviews on some different apartments, and I know I put a review up of the last place that I had lived at because there had been some changes and they weren't really good. And we started a conversation there. We ended up moving into the exact same complex. Well, not only were we in the exact same complex, but we were on the same floor. Literally, I was on this side, she was on this side. So we were in very close proximity to each other. So basically, it was a neighbor. Question 3, did you genuinely join to help people, or was it strictly for the money you were promised? Another great question. I'm going to say it's twofold. I absolutely did join to help people. I thought I could help people, and that's in my nature. I don't know if you took those, I guess it was some kind of like personality assessment or something I remember taking in high school, and it landed in the area of like you'd be good at being a teacher, being a nurse, doing things basically that help other people. And guess what? I'm a former classroom teacher. I've also designed tons of training for all kinds of different industries and all that whatnot too. So helping people, yes. I also have, growing up, I danced and was in a dance company when I was in high school. And so I really loved that kind of working out. Plus, here in Houston, I had gone to Bally Total Fitness for years and years until it shut down. And actually, when I moved to California and when I came back, Bally's was gone. And then my favorite instructor, who also is someone who is my neighbor now, wasn't teaching anymore, and I didn't have anywhere to go. But I thought, you know what, if I can help people with this, and that's kind of why I ended up getting certified in 2 different of Beachbody's programs, their formats, is that my thought was that at the apartment complex I was at, I could like offer some classes and get a following. I could start teaching somewhere, which I did teach one of the formats for a very short period of time at a local gym, but only 2 people signed up for it. And your girl can't make money with just 2 people signing up, and they didn't use social media or anything, so there was no connection there. And I think the next time that they wanted me to sign up, I'd already gotten my CPR, but now I needed to have like other paperwork, other licenses or something, and I just didn't have the money to do that. So at the heart of it, I did want to help people, but in terms of the monetary reward, the person I signed up with told me she was making 6 figures. And that really spoke to me because here I had lost this high-paying job, and I was doing contract work, independent contract work for a company I didn't like the work that I was doing. I was also thinking of maybe starting my own instructional design company. Really glad I didn't do that. So the money was part of it because I was thinking, well, I know this is going to take me at least 5 years, if not 10 years, to really build something. And I was okay with putting in the time and the work as long as I started, seeing some kind of return on my investment, because I was busting my hump at it. So it was really twofold. Question number 4, at what point did you feel Beachbody was messed up and not a good business? Wow. I am not sure if there was a precise moment in time, because I was running around all over the internet looking for help, because the person I signed up with, it's not like she provided any one-on-one support. And remember, we were neighbors. She would come over and she'd drink the wine that my husband would bring home. She'd do that, but in terms of helping me or anything, she didn't do that. But looking back on it, it's not like you can really help someone. I really believe that you need to have like this network already built, or somehow have a lot of people you can reach out to. And I most certainly did not have that. I mean, I was like staying at home all the time because we didn't have the money for me to go and do the things that I had done. We still don't have that. We're still recovering from when I lost a very high paying job. I have a job now, but it's not like I'm not making anywhere even close to what I was making then, nowhere near it. So I would say it was more of after a good couple of years of giving it my best, and I was really taking money away from my family and investing it in different things like joining Rank Makers, joining Social Team Builder, running Facebook ads, getting other courses where I could manifest the life of my dreams, all kinds of stuff that I was trying to do, not to mention the personal development books and then getting certified into Beachbody formats. All these things I was doing, thinking that I'm really working towards building something, but I wasn't getting anything back, meaning I couldn't sell like one challenge pack every single month, let alone 3, because Beachbody is like, just help 3 people each month. Just help 3 people. Well, if I had been able to help 3 people each month, I would have stayed in longer, because it would have been building and momentum, but it didn't do any of those things. Question 5. What did your upline say when you started to fall off? Here's the thing. My upline didn't give a flying monkey's butt about what I was or was not doing. I'm talking about the neighbor that I signed up under. She didn't care, because I was just helping her create volume, for her to get personal volume points through the fact that I was buying Shakeology, so she'd get points for that. She didn't care. If she had, I guess, she would have said something, but she didn't. And I was always talking about how hard I was working, and I was doing all the things, running around like a crazy person, trying to crack this nut that can't be cracked because it's not meant to be cracked. So I really didn't have anyone say anything. And then when she left in, I want to say it was February of 2017, I'm pretty sure it was February. And I was moved up underneath her upline, who has an enormous team, ginormous, okay? And she didn't say anything to me either, because she had other things to deal with. She put her energy towards people who were really building, because that's how you were able to get into these other groups that would help you, continue to build. And the fact that, I wasn't bringing in new people with me, she didn't care about me, because I wasn't doing anything other than providing just a little bit of volume for her. Question 6, was it always bad? Was it always MLM? Now, I'm not exactly sure what you mean, like, was Beachbody always bad? Was Beachbody always an MLM? That's what I'm kind of reading into this. So we're going to go with that. When I joined, like everyone else, I thought I had a real community, because remember, I no longer was going to work full time. I was doing some work from home, independent contract work where I was in the apartment we were at. We had to move from downtown to, we didn't have to move to Midtown. We ended up moving to Midtown. My story about how we ended up there, that's a story in and of itself. If you ever want to hear about that, let me know in the comments, because it was so messed up. It was just craziness. Anyway, so I thought I found community, and because I was not leaving and going to work, because I had loved the people that I was working with. We had a really good team of people who were very kind, had good hearts. I was able to really kind of lead the direction that e-learning was going, and I enjoyed that part of it. There were things about the job that, I didn't really enjoy, but I was being paid a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money. But when oil is good, if you're in the oil business, and I worked for an oil company, there's a lot of money to be had. But when it goes down, there's layoffs, and the training department is always the first one that was cut. So that's how I was impacted. So was it always bad? Initially, I didn't think it was, because I really didn't understand MLM or anything. And I thought I had, this huge community, these people I was meeting, and I was trying to, really connect with others. And especially when I got my success partner, and we talked all the time. Then I got a couple of other success partners. We talked all the time, and I had all these buddies. So I thought, but that was all very surface. It was all smoke and mirrors, because we were all trying to do the same thing. And yes, we were supporting each other, further indoctrinating each other by saying the same crap that we had heard. But, I thought they were real friends, but I don't really talk to those people. There's 2 people out of the ton of people that I thought were, really had my back. There's 2 people that I still talk to. Was it always MLM? Beachbody, okay, I've explained this before, and I'll explain it again. Beachbody at the time, because now it's changing. There are 3 different branches. Beachbody, which was just like the infomercials, and people can go to beachbody.com. And there used to be like a message board, and people were, supporting each other on there. And the story goes that they realized people were helping each other, and then why not help them make money doing what they were already doing? And that's how the coaching network was born, and that's teambeachbody.com. In addition to those 2, and teambeachbody.com is the MLM side of Beachbody. Then there is Beachbody Live. Beachbody Live is, live fitness classes. That's why I got certified in 2. I got certified in size and in country heat, which they don't offer that certification anymore. But then again, they're shutting down Beachbody Live in March. So people, I forget when that was just announced. I'm not in there, but I've got like my inside people. I find out stuff. That's what I can say, is I find out stuff. But there were just basically 3 branches. And so it wasn't always MLM, because that came after they had already had great success in, their infomercials. But now there's also OpenFit. OpenFit is basically like Beachbody On Demand. Beachbody On Demand is the streaming service. OpenFit is also a streaming service, and the products that they offer mirror that of the performance line on that Beachbody has, which includes Energize, and there's Recover, and I don't remember what the other ones were, because I never bought any of those, because honestly I couldn't afford to get all that stuff in addition to getting my monthly supply of Shakeology. Question 7. What non-Beachbody MLM gets under your skin the most, and why? Oh, okay. Basically, the long and short of this, there were 2 others that really get under my skin, and a third emerged, and they're all pretty equal. So the first one is LuLaRoe. I've done a lot of videos on LuLaRoe because I know what it costs for people to get in. I know they've reduced it now to $499, so you can get like 65 pieces. At that, I can't imagine anybody joining right now, but that's another thing. But knowing that people were spending anywhere from $5,000 to $9,000 to get onboarded with LuLaRoe, and then having to continue to get more merchandise, even if you're selling it, and then seeing all the horrible prints that people have been stuck with, my heart just breaks for them. And then seeing recent launches and that clothes are still falling apart, that the quality is just crap. That's what really gets under my skin, is knowing how many women were impacted by this, that it just really did explode. It was growing slowly and then just exploded, and I don't think they were prepared for that growth. And maybe they always just didn't care, but just hearing some of the things that come out of Deanne's and Mark's mouth, I just am like, y'all just seem like rotten people. And then finding out that Deanne's twin sister and Deanne's daughter and Deanne's twin sister's daughter, that they all have their own MLMs, that there's something in the blood of this family of like, let's do MLM, and MLM is just a horrible business model. So that's one. Another one is Unique. Unique gets under my skin a lot because, and Little Rose in the same way, I have a childhood friend who had joined Unique, left Unique, joined Limelight, then went to LuLaRoe, and now is back at Unique. But I also know that she's been doing MLM, like I guess her entire adult life. Because I can remember in the 90s having a party. It was a jewelry party. She was doing jewelry at the time. I had no idea it was MLM. And then she did something else that was baskets, Longa Burger. I don't remember what it's called. But, and then she's talked about doing travel stuff. And so she never told me it was MLM, but just thinking back on our conversations, it's like, oh, that must have been some kind of travel MLM that she was doing too. So the thought that she's been sucked into both of those really bothers me. And then Unique really gets to me because there are these two charities, and one is to help women who have been sexually assaulted, as children. She was sexually assaulted as a child. I was sexually assaulted as a child. And I know that charity that they have, it really doesn't do what they pretend that it does. And I've done a video on it. I'm not going to get into it. So that gets under my skin. Now, the third one arose because my friend BB, and I did 2 videos on her. She is a higher ranking Beachbody Hun than me. She was at leadership and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, she got into this conversation with someone on Facebook. And I started looking at it because I had done a video on the ACE initiative. And when I went through the ACE initiative, it led to this MLM called Enagic. Enagic is a water filtration MLM. And to get their machine, it's $5,000. You can only get their machine if you become a distributor. So that's really janky. But they also offer to you a way to finance it. If you don't have it, you can get a loan, you can get credit. And that to me is just horrible. Plus, there was this guy, and I did a video on this, in Samoa with the Samoa measles outbreak, who was spraying the Kangen water and saying that it would cure measles, which it's not going to do that. He's under investigation. So that one has gotten under my skin. Plus, I then discovered these other 2 guys, Darren and Mike, had this whole system that you go to their free webinar. From their free webinar, you are then led to get this course, and I've done videos on all of this. Their course, which is $149, and as an instructional designer, I look at the content of the course and I'm just like, this is janky. But the whole point to get you to do that is to get you sucked in, because you were going to be led to then join Enagic, because that's how you're going to create your online business. And then they're teaching you how to run Facebook ads. So now you're running Facebook ads. You've spent $5,000 on this machine. Now you're expected to spend money on Facebook ads to draw people to you, so you're not going to your friends and family. And I've had people recently make some comments on those different videos of their experiences, which aren't good. Now, Darren and Mike, what they will do, my very first video I ever did on them, they, attacked it and got it removed from YouTube. But I then redid everything, covering up their faces, because, it was privacy claimed, which is complete BS. I was sent a cease and desist letter. So I contacted my attorney, Douglas Brooks, who has done litigations in, MLMs and stuff before. And I made sure that I aligned myself with the right people when I went down this whole anti-MLM rabbit hole anyway. So I contacted him, and now they know I have backing, that they can't just bully me, because they were just they were threatening basically a slap lawsuit on me to silence me. And now I've created more videos, and I have found more dirt because they gave me time. So Those are the three, and that's why. Number 8, what was it like working in your previous year and how did you get started there? Okay, my previous year. Well, last Christmas, I was working and doing independent contract work. Anyway, I had to drive to Pearland to be on site, which there's no reason to do that, but the guy just didn't want people working remotely, and I was creating process safety training. And after the new year, it was like suddenly they didn't need my services anymore. And so I didn't have a job once again, and I didn't even have like a full-time job. I was working 3 to 4 to 5 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and some weeks not Monday through Friday. It might be a couple of days. So it wasn't steady income. So then at the beginning of the year, what I did is I put together gigs on Fiverr to offer to teach people how to create courses and also to create course material for people. And everything that I did on Fiverr, I didn't do like at a real super cheap rate. I didn't do it at a rate of what I would normally charge, in the quote, the real world. But I was thinking I would be able to build up something with on Fiverr. But I ran into a problem there, and maybe I need to do a video on this. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see this, because I'm thinking of doing it. Basically, there were some fake gurus who approached me and wanted me to create courses on different topics. And typically me as an instructional designer, what I do is I work with someone who is a subject matter expert, an expert in their field, and from them I'm able to extract what the information is that needs to be imparted to someone else so that I can create the content, design the instructional objectives, design the way they're going to be assessed, and all that kind of whatnot. And after a while, doing the Fiverr thing was kind of getting under my skin, and I started looking for basically remote work, full-time remote work. And I joined something, I don't know what it's called, I can't remember. Anyway, it's a site that you pay a monthly fee and you can apply and you can just look for different types of work. So I was looking for stuff that was remote. And that's how I found the company that I work for now. And now what I'm being paid is, like I said, it's a fraction of what I used to make. I make less than a first-year teacher in Houston Independent School District. You can look that up. You can see what they're making and know that I'm making less than that, and that was a fraction of what I used to make. But I work from home and I have benefits, so there's that. Is it everything that I want? No. But I also now have a hobby that I love, and that is creating videos on YouTube for you good people. And I'm just learning how to do that a little bit better as I go, just like anyone else who's a content creator. You don't start out at the very top. You start out not knowing anything and you learn as you go. Question 9, when did you realize you were a Hunbot, and what was the conversation like, if any, with your team when you first decided to get out? Okay. This is how I realized I was a Hunbot. I had no clue. I didn't know Hunbot was a word. Okay, we had moved. We were in Midtown. We moved out of Midtown because there's a reason behind why we moved out there, because, there was just stuff going on. And we moved into this private townhome, owned by someone, and it's a few blocks from where we are right now. And we really liked that place. We were there not quite a year before we were told we needed to move. We weren't going to have our lease renewed because they were selling the place. The place still hasn't sold. P.S. They thought they could sell it because the next door neighbor sold theirs. Well, the one that we lived in, it has not been remodeled. There's a lot of issues with it. And so now we are where we are here. And when we moved here, we were looking at how can we cut expenses. And one of the things that we decided to do was to cut out cable. So now we don't have cable because that does get to be very, very expensive. And I also had like all the movie channels because I am a TV head. My husband isn't. I love to watch different series. Horror is my favorite genre. So I love to watch different horror movies. So now we have just Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and then we, get everything that we're just streaming everything. And I'll use, what is it called? Pluto, whatever. And I'll sometimes look on there, but I stream everything. So when I started, watching stuff here, I started watching a lot of YouTube because I could watch YouTube on my TV. And somehow in my recommended, anti-MLM stuff started appearing. And I got addicted to it. Because I was horrified. Even though I had not been sending any of these hey girl messages for a couple of years, I saw myself in what people were making fun of. And then I saw the stuff on the subreddit. And I realized, holy crap, I was a Hunbot. That's when I started realizing what I had been involved in. And then I started researching it. And I was like, well, I can't be quiet. I just can't sit here and go into that good night. And that's how I connected with Robert Fitzpatrick, David Brer, Douglas Brooks. And just because I wanted to understand it, not just, a little bit about it, but just like the whole thing. Because the type of person I am now, I did not do this when I joined MLM, but I'm someone who will just research stuff. I enjoy research. Hence, I have a bunch of different degrees, I just love learning stuff. And so I realized that what people are saying about all of these Huns was probably said about me. So that's how I realized. Now, at this time, I didn't have a team. My last person who was my coach left, didn't have any conversation with me. And I had been very, very patient and very supportive in terms of not pressuring her to do her own challenge groups or do any of the stuff that, I know you need to do to be successful as a Beachbody coach, all of that crap. I was, really being very gentle. And all of a sudden, I just got an email saying that this person was quitting. And I was deeply hurt because I thought we were friends. And to make matters worse is she left and joined someone else who had been a Beachbody coach who left and joined Melaleuca, who had been one of my success partners. And it just really felt like I was stabbed in the back, and it hurt a great deal. So I didn't have anyone to have a conversation with. When I made the decision to leave, I just left. I didn't say anything to anyone because I really wasn't talking with anybody in the Beachbody world. Question 10, what plans do you have for your channel in 2020? Okay, in 2020, what am I planning on doing? Well, one of the things that I really want to do, and I've started booking people, I want to have guests come on because I want to do a segment that's, hey hun, glad you woke up, or it's called something like that. I did on my community tab, I ran some kind of poll because I was asking you guys for a good name, and I want to also have that be a podcast so people can see it here on YouTube, that if somebody likes podcasts and maybe they're looking for anti-MLM stuff, that they'll find it, and I'll have it through Anchor and whatever you can do on through Anchor, because Anchor will connect to other ones, and I don't remember what those ones are. So that's one of the things that I want to do, is have guests come on here, and I want to dive into what I call the dark side of MLM, which deals with things like undue influence, mind control, thought stopping, all of that sort of stuff, the mental manipulation that goes on. Because a lot of people, the shame, the blame, the guilt, all these things people feel and put it all on themselves for their failure in everything. It's all based on the fact that all this mental manipulation has been going on, all this mental coercion. And most people don't realize that's what's going on. So, and now there's a plane, it sounded like a plane. Nope, that was just a very loud motorcycle. So you might have heard that. Anyway, so I want to bring people on to talk about that. I also want to bring different Huns, people who have been in MLM and now they've left. I want to be able to do, conversations with them so that you can hear perspectives other than just my own. You can hear what other people have been through. I'm going to continue doing all the stories that I've collected to now that on my Google form, because I want to get those stories out, but I really want people to start, talking about it on camera with me and sharing their experience, because I really think that's going to make even a more stronger and more powerful connection than just, me telling their stories. I think me telling their story is, one step, but I think another step is to start talking to people. And then I'll also probably research things that, interest me, things that come in the news, maybe suggestions from you guys. I'll probably still do some things on LuLaRoe because those prints are just horrific. And you know, there's other things that I have ideas on. And so I'm trying to actually get somehow organized, and like I'm putting things on a calendar, which is very unlike me. I'm usually just kind of fly by the seat of my pants, but now I'm actually trying to create some sort of system that will work for me and not using someone else's system. If you enjoy anti-MLM content, I hope you'll consider subscribing, hit that notification bell, and also give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for being here, and leave a comment. Let me know, what do you want to see on my channel in 2020? Tell me the kind of things that you are interested in, because I'm making these videos to help you and to help other people. I really do it as a labor of love. A labor of love because I enjoy researching things and I enjoy creating videos, but I also have a love for my fellow humans, you know? I want to help people who have been through this to know that they're not alone, it's not their fault, and that, you know, other people have been through this. I want it to feel like I'm contributing in a positive way. And remember, change starts now.